All right, folks, we're live again on Sunday Night Rumbling, and man, we have got Buford T. Justice all the way from Texas with us tonight. How are you, Buford?
Well, I'm doing good. You know, still in pursuit of the bandit, and I got my red line phone here. So anytime that somebody spots the bandit, they'll be calling me on this here telephone.
That's like the one they got at the president's office where he picks it up and.
I know how to use this one though.
Oh, Lord of mercy. I know that's right. No, Lord of mercy. Sean Bailey is actually the man that is doing it's eastbound and down the Ultimate Smokey and the Bandit Tribute. Y'all can go to BufordandBandit.com and follow all the stuff that they've got going on. But I've known Sean for a while, and I am not kidding you. I have been around a lot of people that I guess you can say impersonate people or tribute people. But Sean has worked hard on this, and man, he has got it down, no doubt about it. So while we're here, man, I want to get a little business out of the way. Tell everybody, I'm gonna pull you up front. Tell everybody how you got started in all this. You actually started out with the Blues Brothers, didn't you?
I was doing a Jake Blues impersonation, and had been down in Florida and over into Memphis and up here in Branson now, and doing the Soul Man routine, and this entertainment and cars has always been in my blood. So just ended up restoring several different cars over the years. Had a Bluesmobile, Chicago police car, generally Dukes of Hazzard cars, and sold everything. And it was like, now I need another toy. What do I want? So I built a Trans Am, right? Smokey and the Bandit all the way. So that's the route that we went, and turned around and added a Sheriff Le Mans to it. And Tim Phillips, he had been out doing bandit stuff. He needed a Trans Am for a show not too far from me here in Missouri, and took the Trans Am up for him and seen the kind of fun that he was having, paying tribute to Burt Reynolds. And he and I ended up getting together and started doing some shows together as Bandit and Buford. And fast forward to now, we've added a junior with us, and we're auditioning for other roles as well, Snowman, of course, and to go along with the big truck. So it's always an entertaining thing just to be able to go out and help keep the memory alive of all of the Smokey and the Bandit cast.
It's amazing how big we got. John Wilbur, and he said dart sport, man. We Smokey and the Bandit it tonight, man. We've got Pontiacs on our mind. This is Pontiac night. I guarantee you that's right. But unfinished projects. He's wanting to know about the 300, the big W300. We're working on it. Yep, we're working on it. But anyway, glad y'all are here. But man, let's hear some Buford, man. I got to hear. Now we're not on the radio, so we can do the famous Sons of. You got to do it.
Some bitch. You some bitches couldn't close an umbrella. What the hell is the world coming to?
Yeah.
There's no way that you can come from my loins. First thing I'm going to do when I get home, punch your mama in the mouth.
That's great.
He does good, great. Man. I'm not kidding you, man. He does.
All you need now is the Diablo sandwich.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich and Dr. Pepper and make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry.
Yeah. Oh man,
you want something? We got no time for that crap. You're over there. He wasn't hugging.
What the hell was the Diablo sandwich?
Old Hickory House, with our tribute show that we go out on the road and do. We've been to Old Hickory House there in Georgia, and we've gone a few times, reenacted the scene. I was so excited to be able to go in and actually find out what the original Diablo sandwich was. It is a spicy pulled pork sandwich, and it's very, very spicy. The first time that I got to enjoy one of those sandwiches, we're actually doing the scene, and we've got the cameras set up, and we're recording, and that was the first time that I got to have one. And being like Jackie, as he took the bite, chewing on it and still talking, man, that lit me up. I wasn't ready for the heat.
So Jackie doing the chest pump was real.
Yes.
That is so funny, man. That is so the stuff y'all done. But now y'all can be hired to do. Y'all do about anything. You're like musicians. You're like where you just hire if you want birthdays or anything like that. Diablo sandwich sounds like something that you have to be running out of the outhouse. I guarantee it. I like a Diablo sandwich. I had to have one just because he had one.
You know, the whole menu at Old Hickory House is just amazing. And this being the last one standing, and the owners, George and Diane, they are just amazing people. And they've got pictures on the wall of when Bert and the whole cast was there for the filming of the scene. The one that they filmed at is actually no longer in existence. They dozed that one down, and I guess it's a parking lot now or something. But just they've got so many behind the scenes stories to be able to tell. And again, the photos on the wall of Bert and Jackie actually filming the scene is just, so cool.
Very cool.
I think that Smokey and the Bandit, though, I mean, that's a movie that I showed my kids, and I know my kids are going to show their kids. I mean, and I know, like we know John Snyder and all that good stuff, and I know the Dukes of Hazzard was a big deal, but I think the car really what's made the Dukes of Hazzard. But now Smokey and the Bandit is still a cool movie today.
Smokey and the Bandit is a documentary of the South.
Right.
It's not just a movie, it's a documentary.
This kind of getting to hang. I got to meet a lot of the folks through y'all, because getting to hang out with y'all. But we just lost the sheriff the state patrol guy that was, I guess he's the one that landed on the back of the truck, right?
Right. Master Trooper Ronnie Gay.
I mean, he was a super, super, super nice guy, and he had cancer. I hate that for him. And a lot of them old Georgia State Patrol. I knew, Sergeant Lance up here where we're at. He was actually the first speeding ticket I ever got 2 weeks after I got my driver's license. I got it from Sergeant Lance from the Georgia State Patrol, and we were friends from then on. I was 2 weeks into having my driver's license at 16 years old, but he got cancer, and he swore up and down it was because of the radar that they had back in the day, which was behind their head. And he ended up getting brain cancer. And man, what a super, super guy. I mean, he wrote me a lot of tickets, but it was all friendly tickets. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm surprised it took 2 weeks to get your first.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, we got
Yeah.
It became a cat and mouse game there for a while, but it was a lot of fun. What are you going? We got Jim in here with us, and then finally we got Sean.
I seen how he drives, especially out on the racetrack.
Yeah. I can't help it. Everybody else is going the wrong way. I'm at better making right-hand turns than I am left-hand turns.
Mm-hmm.
David Freiberger just this past week rated that Smokey and the Bandit was the #1 car movie. He did a top 10, and Smokey and the Bandit was the #1. And you can't get more Hollywood than David Freiberger, because he spent his whole life out there in California. And I think his dad was actually involved with some movies. He's a big historian.
Who was Bert's stunt guy? What's his name? Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds stunt guy. What was his name? It actually done the movie, the Smokey and the Bandit movie.
Alan Gibbs.
Was that him? Okay,
Yeah.
That ain't the name I'm thinking of with Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, okay.
Any movie that he ever done, he broke his back. He started, I think, in White Lightning. The first time he broke his back when he jumped that LTD or whatever. What is his name?
It's not Alan Gibbs. I know. I was saying you want to ask who mine was.
Yeah.
It's all about Buford.
He knew about the cars, man. He knew how cars run. He knew how they drove.
You're talking to the wrong guy. You're
I love Smokey and the Bandit. I've probably seen that movie more than any other movie I've ever seen, and I just love it. And every time I watch it, it's just like watching it all for the first time again.
Yeah. First thing
Two movies, Smokey and the Bandit, Kelly's Heroes. That's all I need.
I like I don't know. Every time I watch it, I want to buy me a CB, and I get out there and nobody got a CB anymore. I'm just like Breaker here, nothing else.
Well, then you don't have to worry about all the interference.
Yeah, you're with that, man. That was a thing
right.
though back, in the day. Now, was you a big Smokey the Bandit fan?
Me, yeah, it was. I grew up Dukes of Hazzard, the Blues Brothers, Smokey and the Bandit, White Lightning. I mean, just all of the old car movies as well.
Right.
And I'm saying old because, they're 40, 50 years old now. But that's what I grew up on. So you kind of just, I don't know, it feels better than most of the movies today for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And there's no CGI in it either. I mean, that's what's nice about it. It's not like Fast and Furious where people are doing stunts that unbelievable stuff. And
Right.
It's believable.
Right.
Is what it was.
It makes a difference, man. It really does.
Well, now, have you, Buford? I'm gonna call you Buford. Buford, have you
If you've
researched
ever
a lot of
gone
this
out
stuff?
on a dusty dirt road and spun the car sideways, then that just that gives you that feel of what they were doing, but not to the full extent. Or even if you're out driving around on the snow and ice and you spin it sideways a little bit, man, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Look what they're missing out on these movies today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. So now, have you? I mean, I'm not just saying this. Actually, Sean really does a great job with Buford. It's when you're there with him, man, it is absolutely believable. I mean, you're sitting there thinking, okay, I'm in the movie. I mean, it's crazy. But you've done your research and you practice a lot of this stuff. But they told, you hear stuff about in the movie, but actually Buford, what he would do his scene, and then he'd get in a limousine and they'd pull him out and he'd drink his what did he drink? I guess
Hamburger.
hamburger.
He'd call for a hamburger.
That's right.
And Mal, his assistant, would come over with another drink.
What was
Beverage of choice.
Yeah, he drank all the time. I think he stayed lit the whole time he did the movie.
In the scene of the traveling ladies,
Right.
he said that he would not drink on set, is what he told Hal, and they had it unless there was a delay. So every 15 minutes of the delay, he would drink. So the story that I heard was like 6-7 hours later, they finally had everything in position and ready and no more delays. They called for Mr. Gleason. Well, obviously every 15 minutes he was drinking down a hamburger, and it was time for him to do the scene. He stumbles around, goes up into the camper, comes out, and about falls over. If you watch close, you'll see that he grabs a hold of the side and just kind of floats around. very, very loose, very loose. And even in his speech, it's a little slurred, and you can watch him just look at the girls next to him as the way that they are dressed, and he's just kind of got that little smirk and little head bobble and continues right back into the line.
That is so funny. Well, you got a lot of stuff coming up, man. I was looking, you got a big show. We got the Bandit Bash coming up on March the 23rd or 25th, and that's going to be down at Brazelton. And then the Battle of Alabama.
Yeah, the day before that to kick off Bandit Bash this year, we're going up on March 24th to Helen, Georgia, and hitting some of the filming sites there as well. And we've got some very cool things that are going to be happening there that we can't release the details publicly yet, but that'll be on the 24th in Helen. Then we're going to go to the 25th down to Brazelton, down to Road Atlanta Raceway. And this will be the 4th year of Bandit Bash. Right. That Tim Phillips and myself and Jason Bobbitt is junior. And we've got Kay joining us again. Kay was the snowman's daughter from the first movie. And she's got tons of behind-the-scenes story that will just keep you glued all day long. We also have joining us for the very first time, Mark Myers. And Mark is the young man who gets the attention getter as one of the carjackers in the movie. At the opening of the movie, when you see Jackie and Junior pull up, and
Now,
That's
what
the
was
thing with the Dodge van.
yeah? Wait, what was it he told him to do at the car? He said, "Let's hear it."
hold up with that car wash, gentlemen. Lady in a wedding gown, get in the car. See who driving. License plate. But Mark is the one that got the attention getter, so he's got some fantastic behind-the-scenes stories and how Jackie would just sit there and tell joke after joke and just keep everybody rolling. And at one time, he's sitting in the actor's director chair type chairs on the hillside there. He leans back drinking a hamburger, and he rolls down the hill into the mud and jumps right up. And for my next act, just continued right along. But that'll be March 24th and 25th, and we're excited for that. We've also got a Smokey and the Bandit historian. Man, this guy's a major guru in the Smokey and the Bandit world. He's been able to decipher which car is which, CBs, just all these different things with the cars and the filming locations. Bo Durbin, and he's going to be joining us as well, and excited about that. Some of the other shows, man, Battle in Bama down in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah, what is that? I've seen that.
Going to be an awesome show. We're really looking forward to that. And then, of course, back up in St. Louis, Waterloo, Illinois area is Firebird Fest. This will be our third year returning there.
Now that Firebird Fest, I was asking Jim. He's a big Firebird. Now you, Sean, you know Jim Silva?
We know each other through Facebook, but I don't think we've actually got to meet each other.
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to this to actually be able to talk to you since we are friends on Facebook, and I'm friends with Tim Phillips on Facebook, and so it's and what you guys do, I just think is fantastic. And Stephen mentioned to me about the Firebird Fest, and I'm obviously a big Rockford File guy,
Right.
Beautiful
car you have.
We used to have the black and gold Trans Ams. My brother bought the 76 special edition or whatever anniversary edition, and then I had I had a 79 Trans Am, and then I had a 83 Trans Am. So we're big Pontiac people in our family. So, and of course we love, in fact, when Smokey and the Bandit came out, my brother told me, he said, because he just got in the 76 and the movie came out, and the guy goes, one of his friends goes, "Hey, Suva, your car's in a movie." He goes, "What movie?" "Smokey and the Bandit." So obviously we had to go right away and check it out.
Yeah.
Well, now that show he's going to up there, do you ever go down to that Pontiac show he's talking about they're going to?
No, I have never gone there. I know a friend of mine's supposed to be going down there this year. I don't know if I'm going to go or not. I'd love to take my car down there, but I wouldn't trust it to drive my Firebird all the way down there. If I go, I'd have to go with just my regular daily driver. But I've wanted to meet Sean, and I wanted to meet Tim Phillips for quite a while. So I know this is probably a real good opportunity to do that. So we'll see what happens.
I believe Rod said there's about 260 cars that have signed up for this year's Firebird Fest.
Wow, that's cool.
Going to be another big show.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, Jim, if you want me to, I'll loan you my Dodge truck and a trailer where you can haul that Pontiac down there.
Sure, that's fine. Come on up, pick me up. We'll drive down there. We'll have one hell of a time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Golly.
There you go.
I'll tell you what's funny when you hang out with Sean and Tim, Tim, he gets a salad because he's being Burt Reynolds, he can't weigh but like 163 pounds. So, Sean, he gets him big old Diablo with French fries. He get to eat good, don't you, brother?
I do. I get to do more than just lick the salad.
Well, I'll tell you right now. I love Smokey and the Bandit. I love Burt Reynolds. I love the Trans Am. But to me, Jackie Gleason really made that movie. I mean, that
Yeah.
he was really the star as far as I'm concerned. So
He-
for you to be able to do him so well,
I mean, he does. I
I mean,
told you.
Thank you. In the interviews, when Jackie was talking about the movie, you know, on the late shows and everything, making the TV show circuit back to promote the movie, he also felt that he was the star of the movie, and he kind of carried it that way. But you know, I agree. It wouldn't be the same without him, but it also, with the whole cast, the way that it just all come together, just amazing. It's one of those movies that you could have had this person in this part or this person in that part, but you go back and look at movies that Jerry Reed and Burt Reynolds had done together before Smokey and the Bandit, and seeing the character that Jerry was able to play in some of those movies where he's a little meaner, he's a little, you know, more straight, and then in Smokey and the Bandit, he's just a totally different character. Just, it was like he was more relaxed, more himself. And even with Burt, you look at him through the other movies, and then knowing Burt and being around him in the later years there, it's the same Burt there as it was Burt in Smokey and the Bandit. So
Yeah.
you feel that maybe even with most of Jackie's lines being ad-libbed, that he was being the true person that he was, versus like the honeymooners version of Jackie, or, you know, just any of the other characters, even from The Hustler with Paul Newman and Jackie. Totally different characters, but just it was more like he was relaxed. So it was one of those ad-lib movies, maybe, that you could just kind of just be yourself. Just come out,
There you
wear this, but be yourself.
you know, I think the secret to good TV and good movies is when you get just the right combination of personalities and actors and actresses that gel so well that it just sparkles on film, or I don't know how to, it just explodes. And that's what I think is what happened with Smokey and the Bandit.
Right.
And so it's cool.
Giddy day, all. I reckon Dean Stevenson there, he's coming in saying hello, everybody. Hey, Copperhead, man, you're down in Australia, brother. Did y'all Smokey and the Bandit? Was it a pretty big deal on that side of the water?
Yeah. The one of the blokes I raced against had the truck done, a tribute truck done as his car transporter.
Oh, cool.
So he had it look
all
like
the slides all done, everything exact same.
Wow, that's cool. But now y'all do what?
Did he keep any Coors with him?
Well, that was his late model racing transporter. Yeah.
Well, now we got this. I've got the website up, banditandbuford.com. Y'all go check it all out. But now, y'all don't only just have the couple of cars. Y'all have got the whole shooting match on this thing. Y'all can bring the truck and trailer. Y'all can bring the car. I know that Tim's building one down here to where y'all can have one on this side, on the East Coast, because you're up in Branson. So that way y'all can cover both the ends on it. So
that way we can cover both the Midwest and the East out there. And Tim's got a Trans Am, and he's finishing up on the Buford car, the Le Mans there. In Branson, we've got the Trans Am, the Sheriff Le Mans, the Georgia State Trooper car, and the Big and Little Enos Cadillac. When we're not on the road, we keep the cars housed at the Branson Auto and Farm Museum, and there is also a Big and Little Enos Cadillac that is parked there with our display of the other Smokey and the Bandit cars that we own, so the eastbound and down cars. And then we've got a few guys that have snowman semis that they join in with us and do shows. So we're just trying to keep the memory alive. So by Tim adding the car there, it makes it a little easier for us to be able to jump on a plane, even to get out to do another event, versus 14-hour drive and then turn around and do a show and then have to go back. last year we done a couple shows where we were in Georgia, then back home for me, for Branson, and then Tim back home in Georgia, and then Jason back in the St. Louis area, then turn around just a few days later and be in Kentucky, then over to 2 days off and then 2 days back on to go to the Formula One race down in Texas, then back home, and then we were back to Georgia, like 6 hours at home, and then to Georgia again, then come back and go up to Topeka, Kansas. So drive time is what hurts you the most. But if we were able to just jump on a plane and fly in and make it a lot easier and, more excitement for everybody that way.
Well, yeah, you ain't so wore out. I told Tim he should have let me fix that dang Pontiac Le Mans up here to run Drip and Bubble Company, man. I got brand new rollers and paint brushes. We can make that thing look good.
I think it was the runs that he was concerned about.
Yeah, but we polished them too, man. We polished the runs, we polished the bubbles, we polished everything, man. It turns out pretty good. And we got Dean Stevenson. He's from NZ. I guess that's New Zealand, or where are you from, man? We're rednecks. I don't know where NZ is, but he said that it was huge. Where's that at? He says Copperhead Giddy Day. Here you go. Giddy Day, mate. Can you read that, Copperhead?
Yeah. He's got too many letters in it. It's meant to be G Day. Good day.
Good day.
Yeah, he's a Kiwi over at New Zealand.
Okay. Hey, he's got a joke about them. You want to tell your joke?
Hey, they demonetized that video.
Yeah, you just brought that up last week.
Yeah, they demonetized that.
We got a running theme going.
Yeah, we get to hear a few from that side of the pond.
Yeah,
now,
I've got a
man.
joke for you this week. This is what you were talking about with me the other day. You were saying about home security?
Yeah.
So I got me 9mm.
There you go.
I got 2 clips,
Yeah.
but I could only get a bag of shells. I can't work out what to bloody do with it, though.
Don't go to Chicago.
Yeah. I don't know how about home security. I said, you need a 9mm, 2 clips, and a bag of shells. So that ain't quite. I guess you can throw the 9mm at them and eat the shells. I don't know.
That's not quite what you meant.
That's not what quite I meant. No,
Well, you put the shells in front of the door, so when he sneaks in, you hear a crunch, and that alerts you,
everybody. Maybe you
and you
crawl out
know
the
he's
back.
there.
Yeah.
I've got a question for Sean.
Go ahead, Sean. Ask Sean a question.
Yeah.
New Zealand. Okay, he's from New Zealand. There you go. Dean Stevens. Are you kin to Bo Stevenson? He was the actor in the Walking Tall movie, man. He was from somewhere over in New Zealand or somewhere.
See, that's a little kiwi fruit that he put there.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's a little kiwi fruit.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know if you've had them. They're nice.
Yeah, we've had kiwi fruit.
Oh, yeah.
We're peaches down here. Georgia peaches down here, man. Peaches. Love him, Georgia peaches.
Absolutely.
All right, Sean, what you got, Sean? Sean wants to ask Sean a question.
The Le Mans has probably got to be the harder car to find out of what you're trying to build with because the Trans Ams, everybody pretty much saves them, but that Le Mans is something that you don't really see out there. So how hard has it been for you to find a car?
It was when I found my first Le Mans, I had been looking Craigslist, Marketplace and all that stuff. And finally one night I was not able to sleep. I jumped on Craigslist, and at that time, Craigslist was the place to go to find anything, right?
Right.
So I jump on Craigslist, and I was like, I know I just looked 6 hours ago, but I'm on here again and typed in 77 Le Mans. One pops up, and I was like, this is 4 hours from me. This is crazy. Runs, drives, very good price, no rust. And I'm like, I can't call. And it said call only. And it was like, I can't call this person at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
What do I do? Okay, I'll set my alarm for 7:00, make sure I'm up, wait for 8:01, and I'm going to call this person because 8:01 shouldn't be too early, right?
Right.
So I call. He's like, yeah, I've got it. And we talked for a bit about the car. And he said, yep, my grandparents had it. It was their wedding gift to my family when we got married. And he's like, I was going to take it to the crusher, but I really didn't want to do that. But if you're interested, and I said, well, how bad is it if you're going to take it to the crusher? Oh, again, it runs, drives, no rust. It's a solid car. All the glass is good. Tires are good, this and this. And it's like, I got to go to work, but let's work something out here. And it was like, this is what I do. We go out and do shows. We keep Smokey and the Bandit alive. And he was like, what's Smokey and the Bandit? It was like, oh, okay. Wow. This is tough, but okay. So ended up that night, ended up driving the 4 hours there, talked to the guy for like 3 hours, loaded it up, still talking to him, and then come back home. And man, I was just so excited. I was ready to start sanding and painting and, just getting it all ready at that hour of just coming back home that night. But it just happened to be, here 6 hours prior, nothing there. And then here it is, posted like an hour or two before I get on there to look. And it's like,
Yeah. What color was it when you got it?
It was gold with tan interior.
Okay.
So
now
now you
it's brown
get the
with the blue interior. Crazy combination.
Now, did you just spray the interior, or did you find another? I mean, I guess you just dyed the interior. Or?
Yeah, most we pulled it out. Most of it was dyed, and then the seats reupholstered in the blue, and blue carpet, the blue headliner, and then all of the panels, because you can't find replacement panels for it, so everything had to be dyed.
Right.
But everything was in good shape, so that helped as well. It was thrown together. I don't want to say thrown together, really. It was converted the first time like 6 years ago, 7 years. And then last year it went, well, now it would be 2 years. 1 year ago. 1 year ago today, the car was done properly for the body, repainted the actual correct color. It was, the paint code was the same, but over the years, they changed the formula. So when you spray the current formula that they've converted from the original, you spray that, and then you also go back to the original formula with the colors that it actually was for mixing the paint. It come up a different shade. Mm-hmm. So we were able to go back to that original 1977, 76, 77 color that was only available those 2 years in that particular color before they started changing it. So we're actually wearing the correct movie color on the car instead of being just a shade off. So as for Tim's car, his Le Mans, man, just really lucked out. It was already out there paying tribute as a Buford Le Mans, and it was wearing the uniform. So it's been a little bit easier on that one. But finding it, you can look and look and look and never find one, and then just all of a sudden one will pop up. So
no, you don't see them much at all. I actually back in the day I had probably 75, I guess, the Pontiac Le Mans wagon. And we jerked the motor and transmission out of it, and it was a good car. I mean, they ain't no telling what that car would be worth now. I think it was anyway, it was 76, the same body style, but it was a station wagon.
Right.
And we jerked the motor and transmission out of it, and I think we just junked the rest of it because nobody wanted them. I mean, nobody wanted them. But
yeah, they were great for derby cars.
Right.
And then when the clunker bill, the thing just to get rid of old cars years ago, that got rid of a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that hurts. You go on to some of these old salvage yard sites that they haven't updated, and they'll say, yeah, we've got 4 Pontiac Le Mans 76 and 77. And it's like, oh, perfect. I'm calling them, get parts, and just have extra stuff if ever needed, or even buy a shell or something. Sure. Oh no, we crushed that 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's still on your website.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I look when I'm out. I always look and see if I can find one, But like I said, you never see them because I know how hard they are, especially with what y'all doing. But now, was you ever in any of John Snyder's movies?
We are Tim, myself, and Jason. We are in the new one, Double or Nothing.
Right.
That it comes out this year. I think they're saying fall.
Is it
And
fall?
we pay tribute to Bert and Jackie and Mike Henry in a scene in that movie.
Right. So he's got that shot. I know he was working on it, but he's got that movie shot. I know he's got that one right now. What is it about the flag? He's just him.
Right.
To die for?
Do what now?
Is it to die for? To die
Die
for?
for. Yeah, it just come out to die for. He's pushing it pretty hard. Yeah.
I got a
I
question.
haven't watched
for
that one
Sean.
yet, but everybody, man, the reviews for it is fantastic.
I hadn't watched it. They sent me a clip or two of it, but I hadn't watched the whole thing.
I got a question for Sean. How long did it take you to come up with the persona that you do with voice and everything?
To come up with, I'm sorry?
To do the voice the right way and everything, to put the whole character together for yourself.
There's a lot of ways to look at it. I was in radio for a few years and always did character voices. And it would be like you see something on TV and you try to recreate it, a cartoon voice, and try to recreate it and just have fun with it. And Jackie's was an interesting voice. I would say, just for me, it's more like a learning process, and you never stop learning, because if you do, then you're going to get too relaxed and forget. You're going to veer off from where you're supposed to be. So with Jackie's, I know when I first put the uniform on, I had another guy that was going to play the character, and he was unable to do so one day. And I went, grabbed my uniform, put it on, come walking down the hallway into the living room where my wife and daughter were, and hello there, you son bitches. And they just rolled, and it was like, okay, this is comfortable. I like this. This feels good. And started watching the movie and saying the lines along with. I already knew the movie, already knew the lines, but it was just to get into that dialect of Jackie, and you can throw the uniform on and you can have fun with it, which everybody's encouraged to have fun with it, or you can just sit there and do lines, and like most everybody does, you're going to throw out some lines and have fun with somebody. But if you're paying tribute to the great one and the character that he helped create, develop, and just make come true for everybody, you have to step it up a notch and just really give it 110% anytime that somebody's going to be watching you as that character is how I feel.
Right.
If Jackie were sitting across from me and I had to do this, I would give it, the 110, 120%, just to say, man, I don't want to disrespect you in doing this. I want to, put you up here because, man, this is a great movie, and I want to help keep that memory alive. So for me, I would say it took probably maybe even a full year to just from start to finish, just to be at that level to say, now I can do this just with the snap of a finger, and be more correct for the dialect and just the mannerisms. That's the big thing there is you throw the mannerisms of Jackie with, he's always using his hands when he's talking. And if he's sitting, he rolls a little bit just in the chair and just always very confident in himself.
Mhm.
So it's more than just watching Smokey and the Bandit for me of Jackie. It's watching all of the TV interviews, just where he was being more himself. Even the 60 Minutes interview that aired on CBS back in 78 and 79, he was on there a couple different times, and just seeing how relaxed he was, and how, I don't know, just a hero. You can see that they looked up to him as well, just even doing the interview with him.
I love the one clip that you can see on YouTube, and I'm sure you know which one I'm going to talk about, where Burt Reynolds was being honored, and he came out as Sheriff Buford T. Justice, and the theme music came on. He came out there, and he just stole that show, man.
I know you're out there. That was Bert's, was that his celebrity birthday party, or I forgot what occasion that was, but it was the All-Star tribute to Burt Reynolds. Last year, Tim's 50th birthday was held at Tannery Row in Buford, Georgia. And during the Jason Grove segment of the concert that night, Junior and I come out, and we recreated that scene for Tim. That was fun.
That was a really good night. That was a good night.
That's cool.
That is so funny, man. You know, but now when you go to I've been to a couple of shows with y'all, and one of my prized possessions is actually I'm laid out over the hood of Buford T. Justice's car, and he's kicking me in the fanny. I got a picture of that. I love that. That's one of my favorite pictures.
That's my attention guy.
I don't know how many people. There were lines of people, and that's all they wanted to do was have Buford kick him in the fanny, man. That's got to be the biggest. That's got to be the most pictures you take.
Tim and I, we did a show in Pigeon Forge at the LeConte Center. We did Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Thursday and Friday, it was every photo was an attention getter.
Right.
And the final day, Saturday, that morning, my leg was already sore from doing the attention getter.
Right.
To the end of the day, it was like normally 1, 2, 3, and then snap the photo. It was take them quicker. 1, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just because it was, I gotta lift my leg again. I gotta.
Oh man.
And I know that we had probably 1,000 to 1,500 photos each day.
Right.
So it was exciting. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, you definitely get your workout.
Well, you know something. This is something I think is funny. You know, I've got we've kind of made. It's not 100%, but it's close enough. The Blues Brothers car. I've got it, and it's a lot of fun. I go out and do some parades, junk like that. But the young kids, they're like, oh, look, a cool old cop car, you know. And then people my age are like, oh, man, no, that's a Blues Brothers car. But, you know, like when we were at that show and y'all were there doing your thing, even the young kids was going, hey, that's Smokey and the Bandit. I mean, they even knew at a young age. That's how big a deal I think Smokey and the Bandit is.
We did a show last year in Springfield, Illinois, International Route 66 Festival. And like a week before, we get a message on Facebook on our Smokey or our Eastbound and Down page, and the gentleman was asking, "Are you really going to be there? I read that you guys are going to be here." Yep, we'll be there this day, and this day from these times. And he's like, "Okay, sounds good." And comes to, let's see, that Friday evening, probably about 6 o'clock. We are just finishing up at the event and headed back to the hotel. And the guy said, I've got my son with me, got my young son in the car. Well, he had his son with him, and he is 3 years old. He's a huge Smokey and the Bandit fan. He sings Eastbound and Down. And is there any way we can get a picture with you, with all of you guys? And it's like, yeah, absolutely. We'll meet you in the hotel lobby of the host hotel there. And he gets there. We're coming down the elevator. Doors open, and here's this 3-year-old boy dressed up as the snowman. And him seeing us standing there in front of him, he was just his mind was blown.
Yeah.
These are the guys from the TV. They're standing here in front of me.
Yeah. Oh man, you made his day. There ain't no doubt.
That was
cool. That is cool.
It's that age thing. It just depends on. It's the parents and the grandparents. If they're allowing those kids to actually watch something wholesome,
Yeah.
You know, it's different than most of the shows today, and even the cartoons today. But they're being brought up right. You know, there's a huge range. We did a show in Pennsylvania, a truckers show, and probably about a 10-year-old boy comes up. We're signing some pictures, and he comes up. There's no way that you can come from my loins. And it's like, whoa, this is so cool. 10-year-old kid, right?
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Come over here. Let's put you in the car. So we put him in the Sheriff Lamons, and he got to quote that line, and his family videoed him, and that made his day. You know, that's something that he's going to look back on forever and just say, I sat in that car. He can watch it on the TV and then say, I sat in that. So it's huge for what we do to be able to go out and pay tribute to these A+ actors and entertainers, and just being able to keep the memory alive for this younger generation. So
well, I think it makes a show, man. I mean, it really does. I mean, you know, like I said, I've been around. We was at the Moonshine Cruise in. I can't remember what else down at the Bandit Buford Bash and all that kind of stuff, but at the Moonshine Cruise in, man, they were people lined up everywhere, and everybody was having so much fun right there. I mean, it's cool to look at the cars, but just as far as that, but I guess it takes people back, you know. And,
it does. It does.
Yeah.
That's what's nice about
when we book a show, it's not only just the cars that are going to be there that's cool for people to take photos with, but also the three of us, Tim, Jason, and myself, as the characters. It adds so much to it. And I mean, you'll see a 77 Trans Am running down the road, or any of those that style Trans Am, say 77 to 81, where it still had all the same basic look. You're looking at it and going, this is so cool to see a Bandit Trans Am. Oh, wait, there's a Sheriff Lamons as we're running down the road. And then you look closer and you see that we're dressed as the characters as well. And there's a video. I don't know how many times this thing has gone viral. It was when we were headed to a show there in Gainesville, Georgia. And a lady come up beside us, and she filmed it, and she's giving a narration through the whole thing, and just so excited to see us. But it takes you back to a simpler time.
I'll tell you what was cool. Now, I was down at the Bandit Bash, and we got to get out on the track. Luckily, I got pulled with Buford and Tim, so they let me out on the track too. So I'm going around Atlanta Motor Speedway with the Trans Am, the Pontiac, the General Lee. We had the A-Team van. We had the Hooper truck. I can't remember what all else. There's a bunch of. That was pretty cool getting to ride around with all the movie star cars, because I mean, I don't know. There's a pile of them, and I guess they'll all be there this year too, right?
Yeah. We've got everything that you just mentioned. That's what we're aware of right now. With some of the other ones that just regular classic cars, not on the movie side of things, but just spectacular muscle cars, classic cars, hot rods. There's some trucks, and I know we've got a couple of motorcycles that have signed up as well that are going to be there for the show. So it's more than just a car show, and it's more than just Bandit and Buford and Junior being there with the cars. We've got so much that's going on with that, and bringing all the other cars in. Just it's an exciting car show, and a lot of fun. And with the ticket for Bandit Bash, you can actually watch the racing that takes place the entire day on the 25th, on March 25th, there at the raceway. So you're watching the cars race, you're checking out a car show, you're hanging out with just all your friends and having a good time.
Now, is Uncle Jesse coming and Boss Hogg and all them? They gonna be there this year? Or?
Those two, they are filming a movie that weekend,
Right.
and I think they said that they may be done filming by March 24th, 25th. And if they are done filming, they will be there if the filming wraps up ahead of time. But if not, they will miss it. But we're really hoping that they're going to be able to attend. It's always a blast bringing the Dukes of Hazzard in as well, with Smokey and the Bandit leading the way for the Dukes of Hazzard back in the late 70s there. So.
Well, now Junior, I don't think I've met Junior. What's the deal with him? I mean, how long has he been with y'all?
Jason, he started a year ago this week.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I know Jason. Where's he from now?
He is just outside of St. Louis, Missouri.
Hold here, hold my hat, Daddy. I did that wrong, didn't I? I'm not a good movie quoter.
Hey, that's all right. I was gonna let it slide until you drew attention to it.
Yeah. Oh Lordy. No, that is so much fun. I've got the Bandit. Y'all can, if y'all is watching, I've got the Bandit in Buford.com. You can go check that out and see kind of stuff that they got going on. But y'all gonna be all over the place, and y'all just started booking, so this is like the beginning. I mean, y'all still got a lot of stuff going on throughout the year. I know I talked to Tim the other day and said it's just getting crazy, which is good for y'all.
It is.
Yeah. But now, Sean,
last year I think we had from our season really kicked off the first weekend. Let's see, I did Dallas Autorama 1 year ago next week, and that kind of kicked the shows off. So we started mid-February last year and went till November this year. But I think in that whole time span, I think we had maybe 4 weekends off.
right?
So it really takes off. This is when everybody starts contacting, because they're able to determine their dates for new shows. We've got our existing shows that are out there, some that we have done 3 and 4 years. We're excited to be back at those as well. Just a lot of fun shows happening, and a lot of places to attend and see us this year.
But I don't know if Dean Stevenson, if he's still watching, but that Smokey and the Bandit, so they were big in New Zealand. It was huge over there, but I don't know if he realized it, but a lot of the like the mountain scenes and where they go across the kissing bridge, they call it, the pond hopping, that was all shot right here locally where I live at. I'm in Towns County, but it's actually White County, but on the Unicoi Mountain, we call it Unicoi Mountain. They've done a lot of video on that pond hopping, which, they took the curve, they straightened all the road out because all these folks moved in. They didn't know how to turn left and right. So they took all the cool curves out. But that actual curve where he went around and did the pond hopping, they took that curve out. You can still go around and see where it's at, but the road don't go that way anymore. But a lot of that was shot here, and he's talking about going up to Helen to do that. I know y'all did that show. I come down there. I don't know if you were there that last show that Tim did down there at Helen or not, but they actually went out and did a photo shoot at the Kissing Bridge where you could get on there. Now Tim is the Bandit. He acts like the Bandit, but you actually could get a picture with Tim on the Kissing Bridge, which is really cool. And
the bridge is still there?
It's been redone, but yeah, it's still there. They redone it. It's more, it's not the same bridge, but the same location, same place there, and the bridge still crosses at the same place. Yeah. But it's still a lot, pretty cool. But they're going right up there on, you're going up on Friday and do some shooting up there at Helen you're talking about.
Right. Friday, March 24th there in Helen.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right around the corner, man. We're about a month and a half away. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going.
Part of it was filmed in Helen.
I didn't know it was until.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yeah. Right there by the rock shop.
Where was it? You broke up
in the where Buford loses the door.
Yeah.
We're going to roll over there as well, and then just downtown, and Bandit Run was there last year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, now here's the thing. When you go in, coming off Unicorn Mountain, you come there and there's an old rock shop there on the left with an old trailer and a bunch of that rocks. That's where they went in behind the building and come back out.
Right.
Are y'all familiar with that at all? And then
it's all covered in kudzu now back there.
Yeah, but that's where he did that at. And then when you're going around the curve, now when they did that door thing, my daddy and mom was actually going to Atlanta because you have to go that way to go to Atlanta from here. But they actually just got through shooting that scene when daddy and mama come around, and they had no clue that they were shooting that movie. And daddy's like, good Lord, they've had a terrible wreck here because there's glass all over the road. You know, back then it was a lot different than it is now. You know, they'd shoot a scene and then let the traffic go through, you know, and then they'd shoot another scene.
Right.
But when they took that door off, but it's we always call it the fishing house because there's a little old house there. It used to be a shack that they'd rent out to people that go down there and fish in the creek. But right there in that little curve, that's where they took the door off. And then, I don't know, probably a half a mile on down is where they did the pond hopping. And I can remember growing up, going around that curve looking off, and you could still see the gravel that they poured out to let the Trans Am go down in the water. The gravel was there forever. They never cleaned it back up. Wow. But, you know, back then was different. We used to, when I was 16, 17 years old, we'd go over there and we'd get in that river with four-wheel drives, and we'd go up the river in four-wheel drive just as far as we could go riding in four. Of course, they put you in jail for that now, you know.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah, they put you in jail for that now, but it's a lot different back then. But I can remember looking off and seeing where the gravel went down, man. That was the biggest thing in the world. And of course, everybody here had to go see it. And then also Black Dog was shot. If y'all ever seen the movie Black Dog.
Yeah. That was shot.
The 18-wheelers, if you see them going up the mountain, you know, and they're banging against each other. And then it shows them going down the other side, which actually they turn around and come back down the same side. And then the car carrier goes over the side of the mountain. All that's the same mountain that Smokey and the Bandit was shot on. Unicorn, same location, but they do a film go up with the trucks going up the mountain, banging each other, and then they top the hill and go back down the other side, but they actually turn around and go back down the same side, and that's where they do all that. A lot of movies. And then, of course, y'all know Deliverance. We got to brag about that. That was just shot in Rayburn County, which is just the next county over to you know, going out 76 towards in between where I live at in South Carolina. That's where Deliverance was shot at. And I think that was actually Burt Reynolds' breakout movie, was it not? I mean, I always liked White Lightning, but I think that's the one he got the most.
I thought he got delivering something in Robbinsville area, or some of it anyway.
They said Athens too. Part of it was filmed in Athens.
Robbinsville, North Carolina. I remember it was funny. We had my mom runs a furniture store, and guy came down to deliver, and he was coming in. It was kind of a rainy night, and he had to come through the Ecoe Gorge, or not the Ecoe Gorge, the Netahala Gorge, and he came in. He said, "Man, I hope this doesn't offend you, but when I was coming through there, I swore I heard banjo music playing." I said, "Yeah, that's where they shot that movie." He goes, "Are you kidding me?" Looking around, I said, "Yeah, the banjo player guy. He's a greeter at Walmart. Last I knew,
he was.
Yeah,
and he couldn't play.
Yeah, he was
and
a greeter.
He couldn't play the banjo. They actually had another kid reach around him and play the banjo with his hands.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Stuff going on, but man, I'll tell you what. No, I've got no. The funny thing about Sean, though, I mean, Buford T. Justice here. If he's not dressed up, you wouldn't recognize him. I'm telling you. I mean, he don't even look like the same cat, man. I'm not kidding.
That's what I want to ask. Actually, Sean, that's what I want to ask you. When you do these events, you must have to stay in character the whole day, right?
Yeah, we are. From the time that we arrive at the event, we will be in character until we leave. And
so you got to talk.
It's the whole time. Yeah, just because most everybody around, you see, they expecting to hear that, even if they aren't right there at the signing and photo area.
Sure,
they still listening. So you got to just keep on going, keep talking like old Sheriff Buford T. Justice.
So even when you have a regular conversation with somebody, you still got to stay in that character.
You do.
Now, do you find that when the show is over and you head out, you're heading home, you stop for a place to eat, you're still kind of trying to talk like that? And
oh yeah, yeah. It happens.
I'm hungry.
and even if you're going to just a little restaurant, you decide to have a cola or a soda.
Yeah.
They've got Dr. Pepper on the menu. Let me have Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Everybody just looks at you. What? Why did he do that?
That's funny.
He sounded like he sounds like Buford, but he don't look like him. He's got the mustache. That's about it.
That's funny.
So when you're at home alone and you got a candlelit dinner with your wife, do you talk like Buford or you talk like yourself?
I don't even know what myself is anymore.
Hello, man.
For the hours that we put in, just looking at calendar year last year, the hours that we put in as the Ultimate Smokey and the Bandit Tribute, there was more hours doing that than doing regular Sean stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, now, Sean, you actually you work you actually own that museum up there in where you live at, right?
man, I wish I owned it. Branson Auto and Farm Museum is owned by the Wilder Corporation out of Clearwater, Florida, and they are just a fantastic company. And Jason is actually the manager at Branson Auto and Farm Museum, and I'm just there. I go in and I hang out, and I get paid to hang out and play with all the cars. It's an acre of cars and trucks and hot rods and classics, and an acre of tractors and equipment. So it's a 2-acre indoor museum, and I get to hang out there and drive all the fun toys. And
well, now do they change cars? That's something I don't understand. I don't see how a museum makes money. I mean, I don't, unless it's just their own place and they're wanting to stock their cars up or what. But they come in and come out. I mean, I've seen you posing with Rolls Royces, which was absolutely cool. You had, I think it was a Rolls. You was dressed up as Buford T. Justice in.
yeah, that was a Mercedes.
Mercedes, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, so the museum it charges an admission, but it's a low admission, and all of the cars and trucks and tractors, everything in the museum is owned by the company. So everything in there is for sale as well. So if there's something that somebody wants to take home with them, that can happen. So everything's for sale. You sell it, and you find something else that's interesting for people to see, or something that's unique in one way or another. So it, we've got so many cars in there. Probably right now, I would say the Gardner. We've got a very beautiful Gardner that's in the museum on display, and I think it books for like what, 120, 130,000, and it's 20. Man, I'm going to be lying if I say 27, but for some reason that number is in my head. So it's I think it's a 20s model Gardner, and man, it's just it's beautiful. Then you can go up, and we've got some Trans Ams there as well. 75, 76 Trans Am, 81 Trans Am turbo. Pace car Trans Am. Then we've got our Smokey and the Bandit display in there. We have the Dukes of Hazzard cars, got a General Lee and a Roscoe car. The one that we just added here just a couple months ago was the Ecto, the Ghostbusters car, Ecto 1.
Oh, that's cool.
From the original movie, the first movie, that version of the car.
The 59 Caddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a fun one to play with all the lights and sirens, and then the screaming siren. That's a lot of fun.
You need to do a video on that thing. You need to drive up dressed as Buford and say, "What the heck here? I'm in the wrong damn car."
That's the only way I'm going to catch him.
Afraid of no ghost.
The wrong damn movie.
We had a DeLorean. We've had several DeLoreans in the past couple years, and the last one, man, I really wanted to throw on the Buford attire and open the door of the car and have a little bit of smoke there, and just step out and went back a little too far. But the only problem is, if you've ever climbed out of a DeLorean, it sets a little lower than what even a Trans Am does.
Oh yeah, they're
So-
on the ground.
And your door goes up, so there's really nothing to grab a hold of to help you climb out. So one too many Diablo sandwiches and Dr. Peppers. I can't do that too fast.
We got to do it the other way. Then you got to write them a ticket. You know how fast we're going? You're doing 88 miles an hour.
You're doing 87 and a half.
There you go.
Just wait until you see what we do in 88.
Yeah. You ever notice them DeLoreans, the mirrors though? You know they're like this, but they'll level all of them. They'll level like flat like that. All the mirrors in the car do that.
Do they really?
No, if you know the DeLorean history, you'll get it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Line on the side of the road. It's peeking out the DeLorean's trunk.
Yeah, all the mirrors do that number.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, speaking of DeLorean, we also have a 70 GTO Judge.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Orange
that's
convertible.
That's
I
actually
look good driving that.
you're talking about the Dukes of Hazzard. That's where they got the color for that General Lee. Was that actually that Pontiac Judge? That's what they were going to use to begin with. Was the Judge, and then they talked them into using the Charger because it's so much easier to buy and cheaper to buy.
Yeah, that carousel red was actually, if I'm not mistaken, was the same as Hugger Orange for Chevy.
Well, it's actually a GM color. I reckon it's on that. From what I understand, now somebody might correct me and say, "Oh, you're full of bull," but that's what Tom Sorrento he's told me that, and he was the lead mechanic on that.
Well, you got the Hemi Orange is slightly more yellow than Hugger Orange.
Yeah,
and Ford had that Grabber Orange, which was about the same as Hugger Orange. That was even closer to Hugger Orange than Chrysler's Hemi Orange was.
yeah. John Wilburn had him on the other night. If you go to John Wilburn, he did a live thing with Tom Sorrento. They were on about 2 hours or more. They just kept talking and talking and talking. But it's pretty interesting if you're a Dukes of Hazzard fan to see some of the stuff that Tom he pieced together and held together and all that kind of stuff with that. But he's a good guy. Sean, do you know Tom? Do you ever meet Tom Sorrento?
Yeah, back when I had my my General Lee, I was out doing shows with the cast members as well, and met Tom and was able to talk to him for several hours. Some of the shows just very, very laid back shows, and the stories, the behind the stunt stories that he was able to throw out there. Corey Eubanks was there, one of the drivers, Bob Eubanks' son, and Al Wyatt Jr. Just with the getting all of those three together at that time was just amazing to be able to talk to them. And you'd say, "Hey, in this episode, the jump kind of done this," and it's like, "Oh yeah, that we had too much weight on this side," and it was like he knew exactly what was going on, and they had an ounce too much over here, and
well, that's like if you know all the Dukes of Hazzard, you get the little Matchbox cars. It's got the Matchbox, but it's got the picture of the General Lee jumping coming in. Yeah. That actually was a mistake. They had to reshoot that because the way he landed the car, he actually not toward all pieces. But that picture they used on that was actually not even used in the movie or in the TV episode because it was a completely mistake. But it turned out to be the one they used on all the little Matchbox cars. It's neat to find out history that you don't know. Now, Sean, let me ask something. Have you met anybody that actually knew Jackie Gleason at all?
Yes. Lindsay Bloom, and she was on the Dukes of Hazzard as well. She was Maybell, the telephone
I know
operator.
Lindsay.
She was on the Jackie Gleason show as one of his dancers. And one of the shows that Tim and I had done in, I believe it was in Tennessee, she was there, and she had another guy come over to us. We had done the show, we wrapped up, and all the cast and crew and entertainment went over to a restaurant to eat, and we basically took up the entire restaurant. And she sent one of the guys over to have me come over and talk to her after we finished eating. So I was like, "Oh, I'm a little nervous with this. This this is big. This is somebody that worked with Jackie. So, you know, I'm a little nervous. Go over to talk to her, and it was nothing but pure compliment. And she said, "You have Jackie's mannerisms. You're just amazing. Just love watching you. And I've watched you all day from across the way there, and said just everything that you did was pure Jackie." And I was like, wow, you know, that means so much. So here last year, we were headed to a show in Georgia and had the Sheriff Lamons on the trailer, on the open trailer, and a lady pulls up at the gas pump, and I see her walk over, and she looks at the car, pulls her phone out, and snapped a couple pictures, and she turned around and started to walk back to her car. Well, I'm not in character, but having the Buford, the Jackie Gleason mustache, she stopped and went, "Oh my God, I thought it was Jackie standing there in front of me."
Wow.
So that was like, oh, once again. And she was like, "I worked with Jackie. I was one of his accountants, and he had many, but I was one of them, and out of Florida." And she said, "When I just looked at you, when I turned around, I thought it was Jackie standing there."
Wow.
So, but Paul Williams, who played Little Enos on Smokey and the Bandit,
Yeah.
I did an interview with him a couple years ago, and he wasn't aware that it was going to be me as Buford. And when the interview popped on, here he is, and he looked up at it over his glasses as he was looking up. "Oh my God, you look like Jackie."
You do. All right.
We had a real good time. Talked to him just about some of the stuff behind the scenes that was exciting for him. You know, what stood out the most with him and Jackie as well. And he said it was the card playing, that Jackie always wanted to play cards anytime that there was a downtime or after the filming for the day had wrapped, that he wanted to do that. But he said that he's seen some other Jackie impersonators, but he said, "Man, you look like Jackie. I just can't get over this." So that coming from somebody that personally knew him, that acted with him,
right,
as well as some of the others, and just the people that we're able to meet out on the road, it's becoming more and more where people have worked with Bert or worked with Jackie or know this story about them and able to tell different things. And it's just, it's amazing. So, yeah, I think probably the most exciting one would have been the Paul Williams.
Yeah, that had to be cool. But that, you know, you're talking about Lindsay Bloom. If y'all don't know who that is, if you ever remember Mike Hammer, the series Mike Hammer, she was actually, I think she was a secretary.
She was.
In Mike Hammer. I think she on the Dukes. I think she was the operator. I think on that.
Yeah. Maybelle Hogg.
And she started out, I think, with Dean Martin. I think she was a Dean Martin dancer, was she not?
She was Dean Martin, and then she went over with the Jackie Gleason show.
Right.
As dancer.
But the cool thing about her, I don't know if y'all ever remember Maeve Nutter. Do y'all remember Maeve Nutter? Anybody ever heard of Maeve Nutter? Please tell me you have.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard him. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, okay. He's got to. If y'all need to go check out the song "Going Skinny Dipping." That was his big hit, "Going Skinny Dipping." But now her husband Maeve is a hoot. He is so much fun. I need to get him on one night. But you talking about stories? Now that guy's got some stories, and he ain't afraid to tell them. I'm guarantee you that, right? He don't care at all. But to put them two together, just don't.
A whole series of books with the stories.
Yeah, Maeve.
Yep.
Yeah, I like to hear them up close and personal, especially about all that stuff back when they were shooting that Hank Williams Jr. series, or that movie for Hank Williams Jr. And John Boy called up. I ain't gonna talk about it. I'll let him tell it if we can ever get him on here. But You gotta love, but I can't put him and her together, man. I guess they say opposites attract, but I love Maeve, and she's sweet as she can be, but she's had a heck of a career. But just to have them, and you do, man. I mean, I ain't never been around Buford up close and personal, but I've watched the movie enough times to know. And you know, everybody I talk to, I say, you know, this guy, you nail it. I mean, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to have. That's the only thing, though. Would you ever think you'd grow up and be Buford? I mean.
No. But see, the big thing about it right there, the key to it is I haven't grown up.
There you go.
That's important. Well, that's what's great about you guys, because when you go to a show, you bring back so many memories, and what's so cool is that the people will come up to you and talk to you about their memories. So what you guys really do is you give a lot of love to a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Just going out and keeping the memories alive for everybody, and then taking them back to that simpler time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. You know, you said it right there. Just with the memories and the stories that they're able to tell that they may not have thought about in 20, 30 years, 40 years since it come out, 40 plus years, but able to revisit that. So,
yeah, I love it.
We have a lot of fun with it.
Have you met Burt? Did you have a chance to meet Burt Reynolds yourself?
Yes, I got to do a couple shows with Burt. Brought the Trans Am and the Le Mans out. We did a week-long film festival. It was his final film festival that he did in Valdosta, Georgia, and we were there that whole week. And just being able to. It was a small show, but it was a fun show, and being able to sit there and hear the stories. It was Burt and maybe 3 or 4 other people just sitting there and listening to him as he's telling the stories. So it was more like a one-on-one with Burt, and just an amazing man. We sure miss him.
Yeah, he done a lot. Yeah, he's well respected. That's the thing about it, though. I'm like you, you know, you seen Smokey and the Bandit. Of course, you know, 2 and 3 and 4. I didn't get into them too much. I don't think they went over as much. And then, but even like when he did that, the Fastest Chicken in the South. What was that movie?
Stroker Ace.
Stroker Ace. He was. I mean, no doubt, he was Smokey and the Bandit in that one. He had that same character. You ask me.
Yeah.
And Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool movie.
Same thing.
Yeah, I love Cannonball Run. Yeah.
I actually always liked Hooper. I always thought Hooper was really a good.
Hooper was good.
I like stuntmen. So,
but I'm gonna tell you something, Sean, that y'all do that I think y'all need to get out there. They've done a couple of commercials. Him and Tim has done a couple. Well, like Buford and commercials with them in character. I'm telling you, man, you could sell that. Somebody wanting to promote something, y'all could sell that. Y'all need to go check out his website and his page and all that kind of, see some of these commercials. Y'all are going to be at a certain place at a certain time. And I think that's marketable, man. I'm not a genius when it comes to that, but that was good.
Sign us up.
There you go. We can do spam or something.
We can drink some Dr. Pepper and eat some Diablo sandwiches while chasing it with Coors.
There you go.
I have a strange taste for a pulled pork barbecue sandwich right now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, could you imagine them all down there eating at that restaurant where they shot that, and somebody walks in that didn't expect it, and there's since Buford and the whole crew.
It's funny you mentioned that. We had that happen. You know, the first time we didn't really announce that we were doing it. We just the restaurant knew. And I think they had a flyer up as well. And we go in, it's like, okay, we're going to stand here. This is what we're going to do. Everybody take your places. Okay, action. And it was being filmed. And some of the people that were coming in, they were like, whoa, wait. What is this? The second time we filmed it, we had a couple people standing outside the doors just to stop everybody for that 2-3 minute for the dialogue, and we even done the toilet paper hanging off the sunglasses on the way exiting the restaurant, and there were some people standing outside that when Buford comes through the door, still cleaning his glasses and sliding them on with the toilet paper, they're like, "Oh, sir, sheriff, sir, officer." It's part of the scene. Thank you, nice lady.
That was crazy, man. I love it. I guarantee it. Of course, I got to sing. He's a good singer too. We did when he was down at that one show. We did not Good Old Boys. What is it? Eastbound and Down, man. And Buford them got up on stage with us and sang. And man, you sounded good. Tim, not so much, but you sounded really good.
Hey, Tim's doing a lot better.
Yes.
He bought a karaoke machine. He's good. He's good. I'm waiting for the new album to come out. Let's do something cheap and superficial.
There you go. That's it. I guarantee it. I get him signed up with Polished Hit Records.
There you go.
Yeah. His first hit will be a polished hit, man. Yep. Well, now that show, I needed to get that you talked in because I'm gonna be down to the Emerald Coast Cruise In. That's gonna be on March the 8th. I'm gonna be down. I reckon they hired me to do the MC work for that. So y'all need to come down there to that too. But we need to get Rakes to get y'all down there at that. That's a huge, man. If y'all never been to the Emerald Coast Cruise In, man, that's a huge show. Have y'all been down there yet?
We have not. I think we were looking at it last year, the year before, and
Right.
we had another show booked. But tell him to give me a call.
Yeah, because that would be
my
good.
number.
He's got let's see who I told you earlier who he had, and they finally announced it. If I can find it here somewhere. I have to look at my teletype machine here.
Okay.
That Chris Jacobs off of the what's Chris Jacobs? He's on that overhauling. Yeah, he's gonna be down there. He's gonna be the big star. Chris Jacobs gonna be there. And I never met him, and you told me that he was a big car guy. I didn't realize. I thought he was just a movie actor, but he's
He's
actually
also from Chicago. He's from Chicago, and he's a Cub fan.
and he's a Cub fan. Well, we
He's
won't
a
hold
Cub
that.
fan.
We won't hold that against him.
Okay. Yeah, he does. He's making auctions now too.
Yeah,
And he's always doing interviews on the cars and stuff too. So he does Meekum auctions also.
I'm gonna tell you, Steve Maggs is my favorite when it comes to that, man. He is just a
that guy is
wealth of knowledge, man.
Like he's always coming up with stuff like amazing.
I mean, he's like this glove compartment will fit on any car. I don't know where he knows. I don't know how they know all that kind of stuff.
I'm just impressed with everybody that has so much knowledge. I know they have cards and explaining certain things on cars, but I'm just amazed at that. Even with Barrett Jackson, with those guys too, it's like they know their stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, Steve does that Junkyard Crawl. He's got that website or YouTube channel, Junkyard Crawl, and I ring the bell, man, because I got to watch it every time it comes on. So
yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I like that stuff.
Yeah,
you learn, you know.
Folks, I've got the website down there. Y'all need to check all that out. banditandbuford.com. And
It's a good website. I've actually checked that out already originally.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff. I love it, man. I think it's marketable. I love the idea with the commercials. And do you not do what is it where you wish people happy birthday? You do that too, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a cameo.
Cameo, man. We're talking a cameo.
Yeah, we got set up on Cameo and do the I've done a couple commercials on there for some businesses and mainly the shout outs to just a retirement for sheriffs or deputies. Done several of those.
Right.
But birthdays and wedding announcements, we're getting ready to roll out with Valentine's Day coming up. They sent out a new promo for us to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, so they can send their request in on that.
Now that would be romantic to have Buford T. Justice wish your wife a happy Valentine's Day.
Bitch. You know, some of the things that they sign us up for, it's like, what the hell is the world coming to?
Man, I look forward to meeting you someday, Sean and Tim. I just gotta see. I gotta meet you guys. You guys.
Well, how far is that car show from you that they're going to be on? Where's that car show up somewhere up north? You're going to the big Pontiac show. Where's that at?
The big car show is going to be there in Waterloo, Illinois.
No, it's down by St. Louis.
How far is that from you?
I don't know, to be honest with you. A couple 100 miles, probably. I don't know. I really don't know. I have to look at it.
I don't know.
I gotta Google it.
Google knows everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
About 5.5 hours for me.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, now you got to haul the cars down there. You got to haul the cars down there.
Yeah, we'll take with it being Firebird Fest, it's mainly just the Firebirds, but they make one exception, and that's for the Buford car for the Le Mans. But
So
yeah, we'll have those up there.
So how do you haul that thing? You got a truck you pull it with, enclosed trailer, or what?
Yeah, we have the truck, and we have the trucks, and we haul them normally open carrier, but we're working on a sponsorship package right now for the enclosed one.
Yeah,
I
tell
saw
me
that.
about that. What is that? I seen that. Like,
Yeah, me too.
Several
how does that
levels
work?
of sponsorship opportunities have opened up for the 23 season. So we'll have the Eastbound and Down logo and Bandit Buford and Jr. on the side of the trailer, as well as the sponsor.
When I seen a picture, I'm trying to look for it now. I know it's here somewhere, but you actually got a location. So you get more than one sponsor, or
It depends on that level of sponsorship. So the key one would be the basically like a 10-foot by 8-foot section on the side,
right?
and then as well as the back door as well too, on the ramp door.
Well, I'm
And
looking.
then that also ties in with promotions on the website and on all of the social media pages, including YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
I'm looking at my billfold right now. How much will $6.43 get me?
I think I can put that name on the tire valve cap.
Look at that valve cap,
Exactly
boys.
what I was thinking, the valve cap.
Yeah, look
It's
at
only
the
one
valve
tire
cap.
though. It's only on one tire.
Yeah.
On the spare
Yeah.
in the trunk.
Hey, that's a cool trailer, man. That's a cool trailer.
It is. It's we're waiting on the depending on the sponsor, whatever their logo and image looks like, that we either may go with the white or wrap the whole trailer in the black. So
Wow.
either direction there. But we do have different levels, so if it turns into several sponsors, then we've got several locations that we can revise everything with the marketing department. So
I'm with you on that. Now tell me about you got the Georgia State Patrol car. And I'm sorry, folks, where y'all listening or watching. I'm from Georgia, and I think Georgia State Patrol cars are the prettiest cop cars out there. But now yours is a Fury, right? Y'all got a Fury? What do y'all have?
yeah, it is a 75 Plymouth Fury. And the funny story, the backstory on that car, it was originally bought and owned by a nun in South Arkansas, in Hot Springs, Arkansas area.
Right.
She bought it new. She drove it up until 2010, 11, I believe it was.
Right.
And then it was parked. She didn't drive anymore, and it sat basically under a carport.
Mm-hmm.
And she passed. It was left to her son, and her son listed it on Craigslist, and it was very cheap. And I said, this would be close to a 74 Monaco. It's got similar characteristics.
There ain't much difference. There ain't much difference. That's like my Blues Brothers car. It's actually a 77 Grand Monaco. So I got the hideaway headlights and all that, but that's about the only difference is just the grill.
Right. Grill and taillights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it went from being owned by a nun to becoming a bluesmobile for some parades and shows, and on a mission from God. Then it became a Chicago police car. Then it was replaced with another car, and it was turned into a Arkansas State Trooper car. Then it was stripped all the way down to bare and started fresh and come back as a Georgia Trooper car, because it kind of made more sense for a Georgia Trooper car than an Arkansas State Police car.
Oh yeah.
And we took it to Bandit Bash three years ago, I believe it was 2 years ago, and we had as a special guest Ronnie Gay with us.
Yeah.
And Ronnie was able to go out on the track in that car, and they done the laps with all of us and everything, so that was a lot of fun. But when he arrived and seen the car sitting there, he was just so excited and so tickled. He got in the car and kind of climbed out of the car, just like how he was looking when he landed on the semi.
Yeah.
Flapped out of the semi in the movie. So, reckon you can let me off at the next exit? He
Oh
was kind
yeah.
of giving that same imagery for us. But,
Hey, Stephen, I just tagged you with a 74 Monaco that's a real police car. It's out there in North Carolina for sale.
Y'all always send me these cars I can't afford.
No, that you can afford.
Well, you
It's
go
in your price range.
Would you send? How did you send it, through Facebook?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. I just put you'll have to go into Facebook and you'll see it. It's out there in North Carolina. It's got the factory certified speedometer and everything. It's a black one. It's all black.
I hope my wife ain't listening.
they're practically giving them away.
Yeah, this one's $3,000. I mean, you can't beat that.
Not for a Monaco.
Yeah, and it's a 74 real deal police car.
Yeah.
Got
Certified
top
speedo.
Well, I bet that car you've got, Sean, I bet that's a dang good car if it's been took care of like that, is it?
It is. It was in great condition, motor and body wise, and no rust. I mean, just a great car. So it's where if we were taking it out to every show, some shows do book it, but if we were to take it out to every show, we would need to convert a semi into a car hauler, and
Yeah.
we had the Fox Hunt truck join us for a couple shows last year as well.
Which one of them cars do you like driving the best?
You know, the Le Mans is very comfortable.
Yeah.
Get going down the road when we do drive distance. Say if we're doing the show and we've got a 45-minute drive, it's very comfortable. I have driven that car from Branson down to Valdosta, Georgia before.
So that's a pretty good
And
haul.
it's like you sit there, you're comfortable. It's not like driving the Trans Am, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You sat on the ground when you drive them Trans Ams. Ain't no
You
doubt.
are when you finally crawl out of the Trans Am, you really gotta stretch and make things happen.
That Trans Am's more fun up here in the mountains.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like y'all, man. After I drive something like that, I have to take an aspirin too. Sit down. I can't hardly get straightened back out. I wouldn't think I'd be this kind of shape at this age, but I didn't think I was going to live this long. So, you know how that goes.
Well, I tell you, your Georgia car sounds like it's got a identity crisis going because it's been so many police cars over the years.
Yeah.
It was one of those, it's kind of like movie magic cars. You put it, you film it, and then you put it on the back lot until it's needed again, and then when it's needed again, it needs to be wearing a different uniform.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
All righty. Well, I don't know, folks. We've been at it about an hour and a half, but Sean, man, I appreciate you. And like I said, I'm definitely going to see you down here at the Bandit Bash. I'm going to be down there at that, and maybe I can talk them into bringing you down to the Emerald Coast Cruise In. Anybody watching? That's in Panama City Beach, Florida. That's going to be, I think, March the 8th. It starts. It's a 4-day show. And before we go, though, man, and we got Copperhead here with us and all the rest of the riff raff hanging out. But tell them again right quick where you're going to be. I know you got it wrote down there.
Bandit Bash, 24th and 25th, Helen, Georgia, and Brazelton, Georgia. Battle in Bama and Mobile, Alabama. Firebird Fest in St. Louis and Waterloo, Illinois. And we'll be over in Ziegler, Illinois this year. And we've got some other big ones that we're excited to announce, but I can't announce them yet. So just follow the events section on our Facebook page or our website, banditandbuford.com, and we'll have all that information on there.
You guys got anything else you want to ask him?
No, I want to tell Copperhead that I shot a quick video of an auto parts store. I went into O'Reilly's and showed a couple things on the shelf that I thought you might not have down there in Australia.
Hey, you busted 2,000 subscribers, man.
Yeah, it took a bit, didn't it?
That's cool.
The more you get, the easier it is.
2,000. I still don't have 500.
Yeah, I don't either. I just got into I passed the big block Chevy number and went on to the Ford numbers. I think I'm at 429 right now.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I guess my channel is doing what it does. I ain't really too much worried about how many people does subscribe.
I love it, man.
I just have fun with it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Before we go, Buford, hey, man, are you still there? Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give us some Buford T. Justice monologue before you go, man.
Well, probably the one that the two most requested ones at an event is they'll come up and say it. So you know what they're asking for.
What is it?
It's one of the two, but normally it's you some bitch.
Yeah.
And then the other is there's no way that you could come from my loins. The first thing I'm gonna do when I get home is punch your mama in the mouth.
Man,
Oh Lord.
you smoke that cigarette like my mechanic. It never goes out.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, man, I appreciate it, man. Really do.
Hey, Sean, it's nice
Talking to everybody.
talking to you. Go have a hamburger.
There you go.
I'm gonna go have a hamburger. Kyle's hamburger.
There you go.
Ugh.
Me too. All right, folks. Y'all be good.
Have a good one, guys.